Tell me, do you like hunting? What about using bows and diving into alien swarms? You can also play hide and seek. So do you want to experience the ultimate badassery? Suit up! Crysis 3 has arrived. Now in all seriousness, what happens this time around? Crysis 3 is the 5th installment of the Crysis series. It's powered by the CryENGINE 3 and published by Electronic Arts. Now this time around, players take on the role of Prophet as he returns to New York in 2047, 24 years after the events of Crysis 2. He discovers the city has been encased in a giant nanodome created by the corrupt Cell Corporation. The New York City Liberty Dome is a veritable urban rainforest teeming with overgrown trees, dense swamplands, and raging rivers. Prophet is said to be on a revenge mission after uncovering the truth behind Cell's motives for building the quarantine nanodomes. The citizens were told that the giant citywide structures were erected to protect the population and to kill these metropolises of the remains of the Ceph force. In reality, the nanodomes are Cell's covert attempt at land and technology grab in their quest for global domination by means of debt enslavement.
It's worse than any of you can imagine. And without me, you don't have a goddamn chance. Nanosuit activated.
This time around, Crysis actually tells us a story, a deep story, an emotional one. It's not just about destroying aliens and kicking humans' ass. Now this is a spoiler-free review, but trust me when I say that the acting, the scripting, and the animations, the face animations really bring these characters to life, and you actually feel that your mission has a purpose other than just blow stuff up.
Psycho, don't you fucking call me that! We have to shut that energy beam down, Psycho, or everyone is going to die. Do you understand me? And what the fuck am I supposed to do about it, eh? I'm Michael Sykes. I'm just a human, Prophet. I couldn't even save one fucking life, not one! You selfish son of a bitch! Don't you get it yet?
The main character and protagonist of Crysis 3 is Prophet. Major Loris Prophet Barnes is the squad leader of Raptor Team during the events of Crysis on the Lingzan Islands and the major character in both Crysis and Crysis 2. During the time between Crysis 2 and 3, Prophet was captured by Cell and was imprisoned in a stasis chamber for 2 decades. He was further enhanced with captured Ceph technology that Cell had obtained. In 2047, Psycho and other members of the rebellion rescue him from Cell. Psycho is another really important character. While having a strong sense of devotion to everything he does and believes in, Psycho has a more emotional outwardness than Nomad, and is far more social, often cracking jokes or commenting on events and surroundings. Psycho will often speak out of he believes it's best and is willing to disobey orders to do what he thinks is right. Psycho shows a great amount of trust in Prophet even after being hauled on board, likely because Prophet isn't keeping any secrets from him. Psycho also cares deeply about Nomad.
I don't give a shit! We need to get back online!
Claire.
God. Michael. What a day.
There is also Claire. At first, when she met Prophet/Alcatraz, she was hostile and distrustful of him, fearing his augmentations and similarities to the Ceph. However, later she comes to accept Prophet. Due to the skinning conducted on Nanosuit soldiers, she suffers a great deal of guilt. It seems Claire had a romantic relationship with Psycho once. And then there's Rash. Rash is introduced in the 3rd game as the leader of the underground resistance fighting Cell in New York, providing support and knowledge to its field commanders such as Claire. It was revealed that Rash used nanotechnology to prolong his life, thus exposing him to Ceph influence, which is not good. Crysis 1 is still used in this day as a benchmark, so Crysis 3 definitely looks good as well. The thing is, it's out for consoles. It still looks incredibly good for consoles, but it looks even better on the PC. Now Crysis 3 is a mix between Crysis 1 and Crysis 2 in many aspects, and one of them is the visual aspect. Crysis 1 is set on a tropical island, Crysis 2 is set on an urban environment, and guess what, Crysis 3 takes place in a jungle inside an urban environment. How crazy is this? But even though it sounds crazy, it looks incredibly beautiful. The level design, the level detail, the art direction make this for a really awesome experience. You actually feel that it's authentic, even though, you know, there's no such place. It feels that it's authentic. If it would ever happen, it probably would look something really similar to what you see in the game. So it's really a versatile environment, and it definitely shows a lot of creativity and talent from the Crytek team. The amount of detail and the art direction is simply amazing. Crysis 3 is definitely the best looking game I have ever played. But don't be mistaken, Crysis 3 is not just about the looks, it also sounds great. Crysis 3 has basically the same gameplay as the past games, with added elements such as hacking and the new Predator bow. But this time around, the level design and gameplay elements provide the player with a set of different choices to complete the mission objectives. Each level offers multiple paths, and it's up to the player to choose which one to take and how to take it. The improved version of the Nanosuit combined with the all-new Predator bow will most definitely create a unique gameplay experience with a high replayability factor. Now, I said previously that Crysis 3 is a mix between Crysis 1 and Crysis 2, and that also happens for gameplay. In Crysis 1 you had this open world sandbox experience, whereas in Crysis 2 you were fighting in a corridor. Now, in Crysis 3 you're not playing on a huge world, but you're not fighting on a corridor as well, so you actually have some room to maneuver, and it's not a linear shooter at all. You have actually multiple paths you can follow and just finish the missions in a different way. You can either storm the front and kick everyone's ass, or you can go sneaky and no one will ever know you're there, or you can go for the stealth kills. It's all up to you. It's all up to you as a player to decide how you want to do it. But of course, none of this would be possible without your special Nanosuit. The Nanosuit is pretty similar to the previous one. You have basically three main modes: armor mode, stealth mode, which is known as the cloak as well, and then you have the power mode. Now, regarding the armor mode, the suit power is diverted to the cyberfibril nanomuscle to deflect incoming high speed and blunt trauma, and energy blasts are also absorbed. This decreases the suit's power rather than the user's health. Now, the cloak mode will render you invisible and it will make you more silent, but beware, if you are too close to the enemy they will start to get suspicious. And then you have a power mode, which is a passive skill that only activates when needed. This basically is a combination of the speed and strength from previous nanosuits, although it performs better than the two. It activates and uses up energy when performing actions such as power stomp, power sprint, or power slide, moving an extremely large and or heavy object, or crashing down on a surface or enemy with titanic force known as air stomp. And then you have the secondary modes. You have the visor mode. This mode replaces the tactical binoculars from the first game and integrates it with all the action. It allows for efficient streaming of vast amounts of battlefield information. The wearer can pick out items of importance such as corpses, weapons, ammo, conduits, consoles, objective points, and the like, and scan them for details as well as tag enemies to track them as they traverse the environment. And then you have the nanovision. By using energy at approximately the same rate as when cloaked and standing still, this effectively works on both thermal and night vision. When activated, everything turns grayscale, save for the heat sources, which turn the same color they would with the standard thermal vision, including Ceph. This also emulates night vision. And then you have the all-new hacking. In Crysis 3, the Nanosuit has evolved to the point of being able to hack minefields, Ceph and cell sentry guns, containers, doors, and also Ceph automations. One of the best things that Crysis 3 has to offer is its stellar gameplay. It's a pretty rock-solid game when it comes to that. Basically, everything works in a really smooth way. There's freedom for you to play the way you want to, and you can always feel like a badass, whether if you're going Rambo or just really sneaky, or even going for those stealth kills. There's definitely something amazing waiting for you in Crysis 3. You have 5 different difficulty levels, and if you're going to play the last one, beware that the game really turns sometimes into a really unpleasant experience. But hey, they warn you in the menu. So basically, if you want a real balanced challenge where you have fun and it's still challenging, go for the hard setting or the 4th difficulty setting. Don't go for the last one, unless you really want to test your limits as a player.
Look at the modifications. This is not just a suit, Michael. Prophet! You're losing yourself to the set!
I can't!
Prophet!
The suit!
Ah!
Even though Crysis 3 has a spectacular single-player campaign, it's really short. It lasts 5 to 6 hours depending on your playstyle. But fear not, because you can play this game against other people as well. The multiplayer allows for 16 players, so 8 versus 8, 8 different game modes, 12 different maps, and it's a ton of fun. Regarding game modes, you have Hunter, which is basically 2 hunters against a whole team of cell operatives, and as soon as they kill someone from the cell team, that guy becomes an hunter as well. So eventually you're gonna have 15 hunters versus 1 cell guy. And the thing is that hunters are always cloaked and have an instant kill bow, so it's a really challenge. Then you have spears, crash site, deathmatch, team deathmatch, assault, extraction, and capture the relay. Most of these game modes are already known. Capture the Relay, for example, works just like Capture the Flag. Whereas Extraction, teams of Nanosuit equipped operatives are dropped off by a VTOL. They must extract as many devices from separate locations on the map as possible in the 5 minutes available to team in each round. On Crash Site, for example, you need to capture and hold energy and download alien pods while preventing the enemy team from doing the same thing. Players earn points by remaining in proximity to the captured object. The multiplayer portion of the game allows you up to 4 classes. You have the Assault. This class is focused on general battlefield combat. The Assault class is a good all-rounder and a very good choice for newer players who are just beginning to explore. The Scout is positioned between the Assault and Sniper classes. The Scout class is best suited for sneaking around the battlefield and ambushing other players. Scouts will generally avoid a direct assault in favor of catching them off guard. Then you have the Sniper, specializing in combat at a distance. The Sniper class is best suited to staying out of direct firefights and instead dealing with unsuspecting enemies from range. And finally you have the Gunner, both powerful and devastating. These demolition classes can deal large amounts of damage quickly and stand up against the most powerful of vehicles. And on top of all this, you can actually customize your loadout. And finally you have support bonuses, known as kill streaks in other games such as Call of Duty, for example. Basically you have the maximum radar, and then you have the Swarmer or the Orbital Strike, the MP Blast or the Ceph Gunship. Again, these last 4 depend on the map you're playing. And finally you have the Max Nanosuit. So as you can see, due to the amount of maps, game modes, weapons, classes, customizable loadouts, kill streaks, there's so many possibilities in the multiplayer portion of the game that you have definitely hundreds of hours of entertainment there. So Crysis 3 was a huge step up from Crysis 2 in terms of many things, especially because they quit that corridor formula and went a little back to their roots, and I really enjoy that. Also, the feel of the single player is completely different because again, now you feel like you're playing with a purpose, with a goal. It's a much more emotional campaign. Crysis 3 was definitely a step up. It's a much more polished and complete and entertaining experience than Crysis 2 ever was and will be. So this makes Crysis 3 hold a lot of value for its entertainment. This is definitely one of those games that you do not want to put aside. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review and that you have fun with Crysis 3. Thanks for watching and take care. Cheers.